This is Joynews today with me, Daniel Dazi. Some visuals in the upcoming story may be disturbing to you. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh my! Ya wo mi ta ni wo. Ya kwa hey da do. Ya do. Bra mi yo kan se biara. Bra mi tu fu biara. Bra.
And that was the sister of the late Naniju calling for justice after the gruesome murder of her brother by unknown men. The Jasehene for Gomwa Akraman in the Gomwa East District of the Central Region was found in a pool of blood at his residence in Akraman. 14-year-old daughter of the deceased said her father asked her and her siblings to lock themselves up in the room when the unidentified persons, numbering over 20, stormed the house and started vandalizing their property. Ajwa, not her real name, has been narrating the incident to Joynews' Kofi J.
Mama baby ko edwuma na nkofo ne bae. Omo bae enom ko bupi wo san papa bi fie ono. Enam papa ka che se yen ko hye dan ni en lock dan.
My mom was about leaving for work when the thugs came in, so my father asked us to get into the room and lock it. They came to the house and destroyed the door. They then started destroying my father's house. It was at that point my father came out and they killed him. There were many, about 20. Venice translation.
Na bi mu so omo ye fanti. Ni mo dia.
Now, according to the police, a middle-aged man with gunshot wounds who reported the incidents to the police has died. Central Region Police Public Relations Officer DSP Irene Opong revealed this on Adom FM's morning show Jasunsem Tuesday. He had alleged that the deceased chief shot him. Now, she said the victim, popularly called Russia, died Monday evening at the Winneba Trauma Hospital where he was receiving treatment. She joins us on the line with more. DSP, thanks for joining us. We were told initially that the man with the gunshot wounds could not be found. What led to the police discovering later that he had died?
Thank you very much. To set the record straight, police, we don't have any information that the man who came to the police station and he was introduced by his relatives as Russia, who had a gunshot on his right hand, is dead. We don't have that information. But what we know is that he was on admission at Winneba Trauma Hospital, and police, we proceeded to take statement from him, but we couldn't meet him. And the authorities available that we spoke to also told us that he has not been discharged. So what we are appealing to the general public is that anybody who has information or is closer to Russia who has a gunshot on his right hand, to tell him to report to the police, Kaswa Division or Ojobi Police Station to assist us with investigation.
Help me understand this, ma'am. Who exactly has died?
The only person who is dead in this case is the Jasehene of Gomwa Akrama.
Okay. You said earlier that this Russia character has not been discharged from the hospital?
Yes, that is the information that we have gathered now.
So why are we appealing to the public that if we have any information about his whereabouts, we should submit it to the police?
I said earlier that when we went to the hospital where he was given medical form he was sent to, that is the Winneba Trauma Hospital, the information we gathered was that he has not been discharged, but he wasn't also found at the hospital. So now we are looking for him to come to the police station to assist us. Normally what happens is that when a person is injured or harm is caused to anybody and he reports to the police station, the person is given a medical form and then to go to the hospital because we want to protect life. And then investigations continue when his health situations have stabilized. So that is what we did. We issued a medical form for him to go to the hospital. He was sent by relatives. And we were making a follow-up in the following morning, and we couldn't meet him at the hospital. So that is why I'm saying that he should report to the Kaswa Divisional Headquarters to assist us with investigation.
Now, you're reported to have stated on Jasmine Sem this morning on Adom FM that one of these characters related to this case has died, apart from the initial victim. Do you want to say that that is not the case?
Please, that is not what I said. What I said was that the person went to hospital and we cannot trace him. So we are appealing to the general public to assist us if they have information on anybody of that nature. And again, the only person who is dead in this case is the late Jasin of Gumwa Akrama.
Have any more arrests been made?
No arrests have been made as of now.
We understand that this Russia character was claiming that he was shot by this chief. Is this the case?
That is the initial complaint that we received.
And
yes, he told police that he was shot by the late Jasin.
When was this report received?
It was reported midnight, around 12 to 1 a.m. That is Monday. Or Sunday. Monday. Yes, midnight.
So Sunday into Monday?
Yes.
And this was before the death of the Jasihini?
Yes.
Did the police find it necessary then to place Jasihini under any sort of protective custody?
Again?
Did the police find it necessary to place Jasihini under protective custody, seeing as he was now a person of interest in a shooting incident?
Please, when you are going to make an arrest, is the complainant or the victim who points the suspect to the police that this is what has happened. This is the person who committed the crime. So at that moment, we're looking for the health. We're looking at the health of the victim, that is Russia, so that he will come back and assist us with investigation. And the unsuspected happened.
I'm sorry, ma'am. What you're saying is that normal practice in the Ghana Police Service is that if I make a report and I'm not in a state to point the person out to you, no arrest can be made.
It's the complainant or the victim who have to point suspect to police to make an arrest.
Can the police not independently identify the suspect?
We can do, but then it depends on the situation.
What was the difference with this situation?
The difference between this is that, yes, the Jasihine is in the town. He's an opinion leader, and when you call him, he will come. So police saw it that if we give him a call, he will come. So we were waiting to do that, and the unexpected.
So we assumed that the Jasihine will be safe.
Again?
We assumed that the Jasihine will be safe.
We assumed. I didn't get your question.
Well, it seems like we are finding difficulty here. DSP Irene Opon will move from that story there. But Maxwell Agbagba is currently in the community. We'll go back to him later in the bulletin. Let's move rather to the Ghana National Association of Teachers, which says it has not embarked on any strike action, stating that the action of the 6 regional branches of the association it's illegal. According to its president, Philippa Larson, majority of the concerns raised by the 6 branches have been resolved. The 6 regional associations accused the Ghana Education Service of, among other things, failing to resolve many challenges raised by its members, indicating a strike action beginning today. Here are some of the issues highlighted in a statement signed by reps of 6 NATS unions: Northern, Upper West, Upper East, Volta, Central, and Greater Accra. So these challenges begin with non-renewal of collective bargaining agreement, GES SIC Group life insurance policy, deductions, non-payment, and difficulty in placing staff on additional responsibility allowances. Also, challenges involved in implementing the standard basic curriculum. There's also non-payment of transfer grants, transport and traveling allowances, delay in salary adjustments, reinstatement of 110 basic school heads of the Ga West district in the Greater Accra region. But the national body says it distances itself from the actions and has called on its members to return to the classrooms.
We have our structures and the way we do our things. For example, I sit here, but I don't have the power to even declare strike without reference to the National Executive Committee. It is made up of members across the whole country and have to justify before them why we need to embark on a strike. In the same vein, it is incumbent on those regional chairmen to have had the mandate of the regional executive committee on the issues that they have raised and then bring them to the national platform for the national to take a decision. So like my president said, we are even at a loss as to whether these people are genuinely the regional chairmen that they propose to be. Because if there's anything, they ought to have been here to discuss with us and find a way forward.
But they raise quite a number of situations or a number of issues. You think they're not valid?
I would say that it is because they haven't gotten the right information. That is why the headquarters is available. There are some regional chairmen who called me personally to find out exactly what the challenges were, and I explained to them. Maybe that informs why some of them are not on that list. Some have their own preconceived ideas and they decided to go and talk about things that they have no knowledge of. Because we are the people who are engaged day in, day out with the ministry and with the Ghana Education Service. So if you have any challenge on any of the particular issues, nothing stops you from coming to this office or calling us for us to explain to you.
Now, the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, together with TEU and Coalition of Concerned Teachers, are threatening to picket the Public Services Commission if the newly introduced Human Resources Management Information Service is not suspended by the 20th of September this year. The group says the new system is problematic as it distracts the workflow of teachers across the country.
Human Resource Management Information System, that one is handled by the Public Services Commission. That one is to give government the opportunity of knowing exactly how many workers it pays at the end of every month and to authorize the recruitment of workers in case of vacancies. So that system was developed not with the GES in mind. It was developed basically to address issues of the public service. Because like you take the public service, if you have an accountant who retires, they only have to rake in another accountant to replace him. If you have a clerk who is of, let's say, clerk 1 and the next grade is clerk 2, when he gets promotion, he doesn't perform the same responsibility. He goes ahead to the next and the vacancy is created. Now the GES, we have a peculiar problem because we are the only service organization who, upon promotion of its members, the members can still be doing the same business. So you can have a teacher teaching class 1 for 15 years, but he's not a senior superintendent, but maybe a deputy director. Because the mere fact that you have been promoted does not necessarily translate to the fact that your job has changed. But the system does not identify that. So when our people go for promotion and they gain their promotion and they apply to put on the system, when GS has done all its work, the system rejects it. Because how can you be doing the same work and getting promotion? And that is what we have drawn the attention to, that we are a peculiar organization. And therefore, they need to find a software that can take all of us on board because the frustration has become too much. Yes, we know that there has been instructions from above to Public Service Commission to suspend the Human Resource Management Information System so far as GS staff is concerned, so that we can address our own issue there. Then they can then look at software, whatever, to correct the anomalies. That has not been done by the Public Services Commission. We are aware that the Ghana Education Service has done all it needs to do so far as putting people on their scales, paying their salaries and their arrears. They've done all. The only challenge they have is that the system must open itself for these things to be uploaded onto the system. But because the system does not recognize people who do the same job yet earn promotion, it rejects them. So the only way out is to blame the PSC because they have been instructed by government to suspend it, and they are not doing so. So maybe when we go picketing there, government will then take action against whoever is becoming a stumbling block towards the resolution of these problems.
Let's go back to the story on the murder of the Gomwa chief. Maxwell Agbagba is currently in the community and joins us via phone. Maxwell, you've been speaking to the wife of the deceased chief. What has she been telling you?
She's to me events leading to the killing of her husband, who was the Jasihine or the sub chief here at Gomwa Akraman. Well, if you come here at this point, you can see the destruction that has been caused to the properties here. She said on the day of the incident, that was yesterday in the morning, she was getting ready together with her 6-month-old baby. They were getting ready to go to work at Kaswa. Just when she stepped out on the main road, she saw a group, about 30 people, holding clubs, cutlasses, and other weapons heading to their residence. So she rushed back and came home. Whilst on the staircase, just observing what was happening, she got information with someone who was with her deceased husband in the room that she should come inside and then lock the door because the people were heading to this place. Just when they got into the room, they could hear sounds of destruction on their compound. A fence that they have here has been completely destroyed. The main gate leading to the house also completely destroyed. 2 vehicles on the compound, an Audi vehicle and then a Nissan vehicle, have also been destroyed. The windscreens of these vehicles have been smashed. In fact, nothing was spared on this compound, even eggs and then...
Right. Maxwell.
Go behind...
Right. Maxwell, the line is a bit unclear. If you can please reposition yourself. Now, we understand the immediate family members of the deceased have fled his home. What have you observed?
Exactly. There are 5 different rooms here on this compound. All are under lock and key. In fact, if you come here, there's no sign of anyone here on this compound. We understand that the late chief, the deceased sub-chief actually had 2 wives. All of them have fled this place. The members of his immediate family have also fled. I interacted with the wife from a different location because she says she cannot live here on this compound. Some of the residents we've been speaking to have been tight-lipped. They don't want to give us any information. A lot of them are also scared, about the situation. But just some minutes ago, we had about 20 police, 20 men from the Criminal Investigations Department, the headquarters, also arriving here on the ground to come and pick some vital evidence connected to this case. You left here just about 2 minutes ago, Daniel. But if you come here, it's total destruction. In fact, some meters away from the residence of the deceased sub-chief, you can see blood splattered on the floor here. It has been covered with some soil. The block, a full concrete block, we are told by the wife, that was used to hit her husband in the head, is also lying very close to where the splattered blood is. It's total destruction here at Gomwa Akraman, the residence of the sub-chief, Daniel.
Maxwell, you were mentioning that the residents are being tight-lipped about the incident. Have the family members told you anything? Do they suspect anyone? Did they recognize anyone during this attack?
Well, when I spoke to one of the wives of the late chief, she told me that she suspects that as a reprisal, and some of the people that we've been speaking to say that the deceased chief shot a member of the community. We are told that gentleman was rushed to the hospital. But information we are getting from the police is that he is not at the hospital because they've done their checks, and the man who was allegedly shot is not, at the hospital. When I spoke to the wife, she told me that she suspects that she cannot tell the exact reason for the attack and the lynching, but she suspects it has to do with disagreements over land, Daniel.
Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba, for that update from Gomwa Akraman in the Central Region. You're still live on Joynews today. My name is Daniel Daze. Still to come in the bulletin, 4 Nigerians arrested by the East Legon police as Trasaco Phase 2 for what eyewitnesses describe as attempted murder of a Ghanaian house help. Thanks for staying with us. Now, 4 Nigerians have been arrested by the East Legon police at Trasacco Phase 2 for what eyewitnesses describe as attempted murder of a Ghanaian house help. The victim, who was chained and beaten to pulp, had a scarred face with blood oozing from their mouth and face. Joynews' Latif Idris was at the charge scene and reports the agitated Ghanaian youth almost unleashed mob justice on the 4 Nigerians.
The occupants, we are told, are Nigerian nationals, 4 of them, and this is one of the 4 vehicles that have been vandalized by the irate youth of this area who got agitated as a result of the failure by the occupants of this apartments to open the gate for them to go inside and rescue the man who was crying for help. Now, the police just came in to tow one of the vehicles, which is the last of the 4, away. But the residents say, had it not been the intervention, we could have had a cold-blood murder on our hands Tuesday morning.
That is a security room was say, my last day in the end, no, or kind of ruffle. So, man, go school, grand, the last day. My last day in the end, no, my last day in the end, no. I'm okay.
I was walking past the house when I heard a terrified voice crying for help. So I approached the gate, and after knocking for a few seconds, a heavily built man came out. After inquiring from him about a terrified voice and the call for help, he ordered me to walk away.
What room in San Momini? Not about to warm gate in the entrance now.
An order I defied and insisted they open the gate and free the young man. That created misunderstanding between us. And so, in the course of the commotion, he stabbed me, as you can see in my palm, with a broken bottle. But I didn't give up. I managed to mobilize the youth in the neighborhood to help rescue the chained young man whose head was swollen and was bleeding from the head and the mouth.
Giddy na market near then. Omankasa bi no. Ya wa na omo se an me di agora. Omo be kire me se me Ghana ni. Na emom no me meko jail na omo ye den. E ho na me se it's my motherland. Yes. Ebi mu di omo moja na ye den egu so. And se me wu a the same land. Se be den trust asman to amfa me nginam. Fa buken. Brother. Masa, edru jaka.
Attempt to get a police patrol team to intervene failed when the officers in the vehicle told me they were busy working on something else.
Said the baby bribe was somewhere on sono. Semican trouble some kume. Sasman to kume. A plan now kume. Can't kume. I do a me and kume. Tenocrana make us wa. And Yaduma.
As my boy in a kaya. And he said, Omaka is an a dream. Go send man home. No more kunu. Before that, I know when it's him, I tear quadri bueno. But I quadri bueno. When it is no. And some me and say tracabo back.
That saddened my heart, but I persisted. And eventually we got this reward by saving the life of this young man who would have been dead the next day.
The
4 suspects are currently being held at the Accra Region Police Command.
Away from that story, though she was trained as an electric engineer and later as a human resource officer, she quit her more comfortable, air-conditioned and suit-wearing job at a local telecommunication company and ventured into farming. Her company now employs over 200 people. That is the story of Chief Executive Officer of Awo Field Limited, Joy Okra, who has taken advantage of government's Planting for Food and Jobs program in the Upper West region and is making life better for the people. Joynews Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam visited one of her farms at Fian in the Dafiama Busie Issa district and reports.
Awo Fields Limited is an agribusiness company that is into the production of crop, processing, seed supply and input support, marketing and training to rural smallholder farmers in order to impact society and create employment. They started operations in 3 districts of the Upper West region, namely Nandom, Nodulu Keleu, and the Fema Bure Issa districts last December, and has since cultivated over 900 acres of soybean and sorghum. Here at Fiang, located in the Dafema Bure Issa district, they have cultivated 398 acres of soybean and 20 acres of sorghum. Joy Okra is its Chief Executive Officer.
Through my interaction with some of the farmers, I realized that they need help in these areas: tractor services, seed and fertilizer. A lot of them want to go into farming, but most of them cannot afford these inputs. So then I decided to form groups out of the farmers, then to be able to support them with these inputs. And also, it didn't end there. We have to, because if they produce and there's no market, it will discourage them. So I have to take another step to provide market for them.
Joy Okra, who holds diploma in electric engineering and degree in human resource development at the Sinyai Polytechnic and Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration respectively, quit her job at a local telecommunication company as human resource officer and ventured into farming. Her company now employs 205 workers at the farms, comprising 191 males and 14 females.
And since we introduced this, a lot of them come to the farm to work, because when they come, there's job, they get job to work. So some of them choose to work instead of going for the other activities that will not help them. And some of the SS graduates who have been able to raise money to able to help them to continue their education.
Apart from employing a large chunk of the youth in the area, they have also been able to support smallholder farmers with inputs. District Chief Executive for the Dafema Bure Issa, Nadi Moro Sanda, is one of them.
I didn't pay for tractor services, I didn't pay for the seed, I didn't pay for the fertilizer. And they employ people to even apply the fertilizer, and we just pay for the application, the job done.
The company has also received tremendous support from the Dafema Bure Issa District Agric Office.
We have assigned an agric extension officer basically for the Awo Fields and hair outgrowers, and that has increased the farmer extension contacts.
They, however, will have wished that they have a dam to enable them to do all year-round farming.
Only one season. When it comes and go, or when you mix it, that's it. So if we have irrigation, it will help us to go a long way.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, who was on tour of the farm, was not only impressed with what he saw, but pledged the commitment of the government to supporting them.
We are constructing 10 dams in this district for now. But with this potential, many more will be constructed in the years ahead. So if we go around and we see that the construction of a dam would facilitate the production of what they are doing now, who knows, we can decide to site one of the dams here. So I am highly impressed, and if the opportunity avails itself, I will recommend this area.
Reporting for Joynews, Rafiq Salam, Fiang.
Still live on Joy News today with me, Daniel Dazi. We have the latest from the Joy Business Financial Services Forum, where the Bank of Ghana has been defending its handling of the banking sector cleanup.